Hello there, and welcome to Bronze Chef Zero Rebon. And we are here today for a little bit of cooking. Let's get to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 3 of the cooking. Well, hopefully a helpful cooking guide or yapfest. Or whatever it is. I do hope it helps somebody out there. So we'll be covering the topic of alcohol within the game. It is quite essential to stat building on the characters, as well as getting the most out of the different foods that you have. As different alcohols, as you can see, like a beer with the sausage offal in game. You even have tea. It's not an alcohol, but it does help with the dairy, nuts and seeds, fruits. You got cider with fowl and poultry and mushrooms. And we got good old mead with vegetables, game, and nuts and seeds, and different things like that. There is quite a few more the alcohols as well. What all this really does is it lowers the amount of satiations that you get. Like as you can see, so it will let you eat in a greater amount of different kinds of foods. Like if I were to drink some calvados, it would lower the satiations of fowl and poultry. So like these stuffed birds, I could eat a ton of. Like normally if you eat, like, I would say a quarter of a cup bird's worth, then it will give you a great amount. But if you drink some calvados, then the greater the quality, the more it will reduce. And I could, if I get high enough of calvados, then I could maybe even eat half of a cupboard's worth of stuffed birds or any other fowl or poultry. As well as we have the all-important beer for sausage. And I know a lot of people love using the sausage for stat building because it can give you a lot of good strength, a lot of strength stats. And hopefully we'll be able to cover more on sausages on the next video, as they are pretty good. And as soon as you get your first bit of bronze, this sausage will be really good and quite easy to make. So make sure you save your intestines, as you will be making a lot of sausage. But for now, as you can see with the different stats and the boosts to the different drinks or alcohols, you also must use them in the appropriate drinking vessel. Because if you drink it just, out of anything else from what they need, then you will only get half of the quality's worth. So if I were to just drink this tea without like a teacup or something like that, or like you drink beer without a flagon or wine without a wine glass, then you will only get half of the quality. Like, if this was 50 for simplicity's sake, then I would only be getting quality 25 worth of this quality 50 beer, even. And stuff like that. So you really want to be drinking them out of the appropriate symbols. So through not a flagon, but a tankard. They call things differently, but you would make sure to drink beer from a tankard, obviously wine from a wine glass. You'll want to drink tea from a mug, and you will want to drink mead from a drinking horn. There are certain other alcohols like the calvados, which it does not have a preferred drinking vessel, so you could drink it however you like and you will get it. And cider as well for the tankard. Without further ado, let's start off with the different processes, and I'll show you at least some of the ways to get into to start crafting your own different alcoholic beverages, and to improve your stat gains, as well as to live like in one of the old-timey monks, crafting beers and cheese. Alright, I believe let's start with the wheat. Wheat or barley will be the same process, so let's get into that. Alright, So once you have harvested your wheat or barley, you'll come to a herbalist table and just drop them in there. And after about 14 and a half hours, they will start to germinate, and then they will eventually sprout for the next step. And as a quick note, the herbalist table quality does matter, as with many things that use it. In about little over 14 and a half hours, the sprouted wheat, you will have the sprouted wheat, which you can then take to a kiln. With the sprouted wheat or barley, just take them to any kiln, drop them in there, and usually it would only take a branch's worth. It's about 5 minutes for them to cook. Now that our sprouted wheat has turned into malted wheat, we can begin the process through grind grist. There we go. And let us proceed. So you would go to a kiln, hit for grind grist, with a handful of cones on hand. You want to go ahead, add a boiling cauldron, and hit the brew wort and get her going. And you will get the wheat wort, which you will then stick into a demijohn. You can also do the same with mead must. You just take the honey to a boiling cauldron, and that will put that into a demijohn as well, and you will make mead. And the next step shall be the wine and cider making. At an extraction press, you can put in grapes or apples. Let's start with some cider. Go ahead and hit press. Like I say, with your apples, you can take your bucket or barrel, and you have your apple juice. And it's just pretty much the same way with the grapes. Now, and with this, you will have your grape juice. Some things with the extraction press as well. If you leave the grape juice in the extraction press, you will eventually get vinegar. So that's something you can do. You can build another extraction press, not for general use, and just leave a bunch of grape juice in it. And you can easily get yourself some 10 liters of vinegar over time. You can also put hemp seeds and flax seeds in an extraction press to make the vegetable oil that you will need for other cooking. So this is by far the simplest alcohols to make. As soon as you get the juice, you can stick them in the demijohn, and you are good to go on that end. So next, we will talk a bit about the demijohn and how to make one. If you are unaware how to make glass, we will cover that as well. Alright, so one of the easiest ways to get decent quality ash is, of course, through tree farming and to getting better tools and whatnot. You just take them to a kiln. And go ahead and split that up for fuel. And then go ahead and light it up. So, making boards through a kiln will give less ash than you would putting blocks in. But not only do they burn quicker, but of course with a higher quality saw, you can easily get the most. Let me show you here. I see like a 56 to 200 saw. We got 101 boards. So boards are easily the best way to get a good amount of quality ash through burning. You can stick bones in a kiln as well. However, of course, the qualities will vary. 1 pile of the ash, 1 kg of the ash. This is set of boards right here is enough to give you I'm just going to call it a pile of ash. Of course, you can get bones, you can crumble the ash, and you can get it that way. However, the bones, the quality will vary. and it is a lot more useful to have the higher quality bones for other things to do. So like tower caps are probably my favorite. They don't do anything, but they can provide 3 whole logs to utilize. Aside from that, when I get to the ash, you can take some ashes out, add a boiling cauldron. You can drop up to 9 piles of ash into a single boiling cauldron. Of course, the quality of the ash and the water will matter for this. It will take about almost 3 hours or 2 hours and 44 minutes or so in order for it to turn into the lye that you need. And at a crucible, a lit crucible, smelt raw glass. There we go. And there you go. So, and with this glass, you will discover you will be able to make the demijohn. Of course, it is a bit of glass if you don't have a reliable lye making, like 2 cauldrons at least, and to have a lot of a lot of ashes going. For your early game ashes, you can also use the spit roasted, because after the spit roast you do get a bit of ash from that as well. So you could use if the quality doesn't really matter for you, which it kind of doesn't for the demijohn. You can start making your own alcohol as soon as you find, if you find flax or hemp for the finer fibers for the herbalist table, if you wish to make the beer or the Wieber. But other than that, you can essentially within the first couple days or the day or two, you can start making an extraction press and using the apples you find in the overworld for your cider until you can find the grape seeds or from the wild gourds, or the wheat or barley from the little string grass, the corn grass. It's one of those two. But for the glass making, you will need some metal to make a glass blowing pipe, so you are able to create. So you will be able to make the wine glass, which will require the blowing rod. Well, the alcohols will take about a week in real time to ferment into the various. So it will take about a week within a demijohn for it to ferment into whatever alcohol that you are trying to create. One thing to do keep in mind, if you add any more, like if it was grape juice or worts, anything like that, if you add more to it, the fermentation time will average out but will not reset. So it will take longer if you keep adding stuff in there. So it's a good thing to do because the demijohns hold up to about 50 liters of whatever you're making. So as you're going, it's probably better to make a good handful of demijohns, because even low quality alcohols can probably do you some good. And if you thought this was it, there's actually 2 more. If you haven't noticed, Calvados, I haven't talked about it yet, and there's also brandy. Calvados, and it is all made through using the still. So with the still, it's like 5 copper and some extra metal. What you would do is you would take the grape juice or apple juice and stick it in the still, and over time it will make it will make brandy. If you stick wine in the still, it will make brandy, and if you stick in cider, it will make the Calvados. So over time that will work out. And I do believe that is it for now. So thank you for watching, and if this has helped you out, let me know. And if not, that's alright. Let me know what I could do or anything I can improve upon. As for the people that have been watching me for a while now, have known that hopefully noticed that I am trying to improve as I go. And hopefully I'll eventually reach the point to where I can get y'all the best content that you can view. But for now, your continued support through, just watching me, watching the videos through, as well as giving it a like and a sub, giving me a sub if you wish to see more, is great. That support is greatly appreciated, and it does help me out a lot. So hopefully I can get over this sickness that I'm being afflicted with. But until then, I do hope to see y'all in the next. I believe I said I was going to try to at least cover a bit on these sausages, as well as the different smoked meats for the next video. So yeah, I do appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.